Alright, so we've got this is the top, this is where we're going to install that tuner. It needs to be about 11/16 inch thick. So that's a 1/16 less than 3/4, so that's half, that's 5/8, that's 3/4, right between 5/8 and 3/4, 11/16. So we're going to mark that, 11/16. Got a nice little straight edge there. Hope you don't mind the marketing. I don't work for them anymore, but that's okay. Good company. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut that on the scroll saw. Alright, so now we're just going to cut that little notch out so that we've got this 11/16 space for our tuner, and we'll go ahead and get it done. Okay, so let's check out that tuner. That's going to fit slick, and go on to the next step. Alright, so we've got, this is my 1/2 inch roundover bit in my homemade router table. And what this is going to do is going to give us a nice little radius on the back, but it's not going to give us too much of a radius where it rolls over. So this is up just a little bit. Figure it out on your own. You get a rasp and round off these corners, or even just sandpaper would work just fine. But I like the look of, or more the feel of how it is with this 1/2 inch roundover bit. So I'm going to get that done. That gives that a nice radius on the back. You can see a little bit of a line there. Well, I don't know if you can see. So we're going to hit that with some sandpaper and get that all cleaned up. And we'll get this in the house and get it done up. Alright, so we've cut out all our pieces. We've come in from the shop. We have to glue some stuff up now so that we can well, start assembling. So as you remember, we cut this piece off at this 22.5 degree angle, and now I'm going to take this and put the part I cut onto the back. And I'm going to first sand that a little bit, regular sandpaper, set it right on a flat surface and just sand it good. Once it's nice and smooth, we need to use some wicked expensive, no, not really. We're going to use super glue. And yes, I know it's not woodworking glue, and that's wood, and I don't care. So you only get one shot when you're doing this with super glue, so you're going to want to pay attention. So we want that to go on there like that. Yep. So we're going to put a good bead right straight down the middle. It'll spread out, don't worry. And then I'm going to set this back here on the back edge, and I'm going to make sure the sides are good. Don't glue your fingers together. And then I'm going to set it all the way down on, and you really have approximately a split second before this stuff sets up, and then it doesn't move anymore. It doesn't adjust whatsoever. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. It's not going anywhere. So we did that one. That's cool. That's another one we'll be working on. This is our Project Dr. Pepper. So let's glue him up. You remember this is the one with the marks. So we have the marks that have to get lined up. So we're going to do basically the same thing. This has already been all smoothed off. I'm going to put a good bead right down the middle. And I'm glad we got a good bead on because that's the end of the super glue. And the same thing. You only get one shot, and if it's crooked forever. Get it on there, press it in good. Your fingers might get stuck to the side of it. There's a warning about that on the label. You should read the label. So there we go. Our marks are lined up, pretty close. And our glue is drying. The glue dries in the joint faster than it does out on the outside, so don't set that on the table because then you'll have a Canjo permanently affixed to the table. So we're going to let that dry for a few minutes, and we'll be back in just a few. So we're back inside, and just like I said, that stripe that's on there, that little bit was between where the router blade was. We're going to have to sand that off and make it look good, but all the sanding you do now is going to pay off when you're all done. If you're going to put a finish on this, polyurethane or an oil, a mineral wax, or whatever you're going to put on it, you need to do a really good job smoothing it out with sandpaper and really making it look sharp. So we've only got a couple of more things we need to do. We've got it all glued up, so that the two glue joints are there. We've notched this out for our tuners, so we're going to have to install the tuners. We are going to have to install the nut, and on this one I'm actually going to install the nut and put the can on and string it up so that we can see what it sounds like. Our little pieces here that we cut the ends off of, we need to use these to hold the can. That actually goes inside the can, and then I actually countersunk a couple of holes that go all the way through. So we still have to get that done. So stick with me and we'll keep right on going and finish her up. Okay, so we've been sanding, but we still have a couple of other steps we need to do to finish this up. One of them is going to be to drill the hole for the tuner and drill the mounting screws for the tuner. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about tuners, which I've got 3 of right down here. And there's left tuners and right tuners. You see, I'm going to turn these around for you so that you can see that side. You see how the gear is over here on these two, and it's over here on this one? Here, let me just do that with 2. One's a left, one's a right. No, I don't understand which one is which. What I'm saying is, whatever tuner you're going to use, you need to take that tuner apart for the stick you're working on, because otherwise things get messed up. Trust me. So these are real simple to take apart. I got these from CB Giddy. I think they were $8 a piece. There's a Phillips head screw right in the middle. You take the Phillips head screw out, and that's what happens. So the Phillips head screw, and then there's a wavy washer, and sometimes there's another washer. So that goes in there, and then the wavy washer goes on top, and then this has a top and a bottom. The bottom part is, how about this? The top part's the flat part that's got the recess, and that goes on there, and it fits down onto the shaft, and then you put the screw back in. Okay? Yes. Sawdust all over the place. You can tell I've been sanding. So I'm going to use this tuner, and I'm going to use it on this machine, and I need to make sure that the gear is facing the bridge, and I have no idea why. That's what I've read. I look at pictures, and that's what the pictures say. So we are going to make sure that it goes towards the bridge. That's what they say. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to try to go center-ish. Take my finger out of the way, and I'm going to take my handy-dandy pencil, and I'm going to mark out that center hole, and then I am going to mark out this side hole, then I'm going to mark out this other side hole. Alright, So now that I've used this to mark this, this tuner and this Canjo have to stay together. You don't want to get your lefts and rights messed up, especially if you don't have a whole lot of spare parts, because then you go to put it together once it's all finished, and you won't be happy. You won't be the happy camper. So let's get this thing put back together here real quick. So I put the wavy washer on, and I put the brass part in. Yes, I know that's not a real screwdriver, but that's what was in reach, and it works. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Tighten it right down. Okay, that tuner, that stick. Now we're going to take the other stick. You guys remember this one. This is the Maple Mountain Dew Canjo with the double string. So this one I've already got the hole drilled. I'm just going to use my cordless drill the hole. You can use a drill press, use whatever you got. And now I've marked those other two holes because what had happened is I sanded them off. So I just put that down there where I want it, and I take my pencil, hold it steady, and I just go ahead and draw around. Now with all of these holes, I highly recommend you use a center punch. This was a Harbor Freight one. It was $4 or something. But with a center punch, you know your hole's going to be right where you want it. The drill bit won't wander. Ding! You get it centered right in there where you want it. We're going to use a 1/16 inch drill bit. And I put that right there. And we're going to drill those holes. Alright, so we're ready for a 1/16 inch drill bit, and then these can be mounted. So we'll be right back with that. Alright, so we've got our cordless drill, and the hole we've marked, we've center punched it. Remember we just did that. I did all 3 holes, so we're going to actually go ahead and drill all 3 holes. You need something to back it up. If you don't have something to back up the drill when it goes through, it could blow out the wood, and then there's nasty chunks missing and stuff, and that's just not cool. So pretty straightforward. Maybe we should put the drill in drive. Alright. There we go. We got it all the way through. We got just a little bit of tear out. That's alright. I can live with that. So let's change bits. We'll put in this is a 1/16 inch bit, and the 1/16 inch bit is what we need to do for pilot holes. And yes, you have to drill pilot holes for these screws, otherwise they're going to break. It's not going to be fun. So these don't have to go all the way through. For this little drill bit I'm using, I know that I have to go halfway on the drill portion to have it be deep enough. Okay, that's super fantastic. So this tuner is going to go with this machine, and it looks to me like everything's lining up nice. The thing about buying these tuners in a set like that, I got the 6 of them. It was 3 lefts, 3 rights, and it came with these fancy little chrome jobbies, and when you're all done, the chrome jobbie is supposed to slip over there. You have to countersink 5/16 from this side a little bit to get that to fit in, but they come with all the screws. So you get everything you need. You get the tuners, the mounting hardware, the trim, the whole bit. It's got that little purloid. So once I get this all sanded, we're going to go ahead and this will be one of the last things we do before we string it, is we'll screw this on. But the holes are already there, so we're ready to apply some finish or keep on sanding. I've been sanding a lot. I've been sanding a really lot. But it looks really nice. It's come right along. I think I'm going to put some finish on this, and we'll go from there.